My name is Brian Lee Horn, and today is Sunday, December the 11th, 2022, and it is 9:38 in the morning. I just wanted to make a follow-up video, a shorter follow-up video to the one that I made and posted yesterday. I believe it either got posted early this morning or it got posted yesterday. Titled GHAZI, Gus, Michael, OSTA, VOLUSIA, Gold and Diamond, Daytona Beach. I believe that's what the title. And I'm going to put number 1 on that one and number 2 on this one. But I just needed to clarify something that I said in that video. This is what I'm going to say. If I said something that I thought was negative or untruthful about anyone or anything in that video except for me, then I would just totally take the video off and I would have to start all over. Okay? And I would, and I truly would if I truly believed that I said something inaccurate or something, verbally harmful, or like that could be considered, like defamation, or, I'm just saying anything negative. If I said something that was untruthful about somebody else in that video or VOLUSIA, Gold and Diamond, like I said, I would have already taken off the video and I would have had to start all over. And the thing is, I'm making this video because I said something about myself that I need to clarify. And that is why I'm making this video right now. And I also am going to add a few things to this video that I didn't include in the previous video. Number 1. This is the previous video will be number 1, and this will be number 2. And I'll just say, I've started, when I said I've been thinking about the event that transpired on April the 13th, 2002 at VOLUSIA, Gold and Diamond. I'm going to include the same article, the Daytona Beach News Journal. I'm just going to include the same exact, words that I took off the article. Everything is going to be the same, except, it's going to be me just, clarifying something and adding a few more details, and this is going to be shorter. So, first and foremost, as I said before, I've been thinking about this a lot, and one of the main reasons why I do believe is today, my wife and I are waking up, and we have to go to, or it's not we have to go, we are going to, her father passed away, and we're going to his memorial today. And also one of my wife's very good friends, very close friends, she passed away at, I believe, the age of 38 or 39, and she died of cancer. I believe that is the diagnosis. And she was only diagnosed, I believe, 1 week earlier. And then she was in the hospital. She had to have surgery, and she just went downhill from there. And the tragic part about this is she was a mother of 5 small children. 5 children. Her oldest was 12, I believe. 12 or 13 at the most. And her youngest are twin boys that I believe are like 4 years old. She has, the youngest are twin boys, and the oldest is a girl. She's 12 or 13, and then there's a younger girl and a younger boy. So it's 3 boys and 2 girls. 5 small children have lost their mother, and the mother has, lost, I'm just saying. But thank God she was a Christian, and she was saved, and she lived a godly life, and she raised her children in a godly manner, and, but it's very tragic. It's, it's almost Christmas time, and, there's no doubt that people are pulling around, and they're going to try to give the children the best Christmas as possible. But, you can only portray that illusion for so long whenever a child, 5 children, lose their mother. And she was a stay-at-home parent. So she was the one that took care of the kids a vast majority amount of the time. So, she was married to the same man, and that had all the 5 children. She was only married once. And, so, there's personal details in that, but that I'm not getting into. But the bottom line is, 5 small children lost their mother. A mother, had to know she had to say goodbye to her 5 children. How traumatic and devastating, they saw each other last time in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I've been, I think I've been thinking about, some things a lot more lately. I've had anxiety and depression for a long time and everything. So, I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. And just like I said in the other video, I am, I am a sinner. You know what I'm saying? I am I don't believe I walk on water. And I'm not saying that I'm any better than anybody, because that is the furthest from the truth. But, that's why today we have to go. It's not, and I'm sorry, it's not we have to go. It's we are going to my wife's, father's memorial. He passed away, and I believe he was under 60 years old, and her mother passed away in 2012, and she was not even, she was in her 50s, I believe, and her dad, my wife's dad, is in her 50s, so, in his 50s, so, I'm just saying, we're going to my wife's, father's memorial today, and, our friend, my wife's very good friend, and that the friend, she's my friend, but she was, my wife's friend, long before I ever met her. But this friend that I'm talking about that passed away at a very young age with 5 small children, her mother was instrumental in getting my wife and I together, but unfortunately it was the mother of this young lady, this mother of 5 children, actually the mother of this lady that passed away. The mother was trying to get me to be with her daughter and trying to fix us up. And that's how I say that, Michelle was instrumental. Michelle is the lady, the young lady that passed away today at a young age with 5 small children. And her mother, Janice. Her mother, Janice, was trying to, because I knew Janice, and, so I'm just, it's just today I think I've just subconsciously and consciously been thinking about, mortality and life, and, so I just wanted to clarify that. And also, I wanted to say that everything I said in the previous video, number one, I don't write any of this down. It's not scripted. I don't write anything down. When I talk, I talk right into this microphone, and I just stand still. I'm in this room. I look at the walls, or whatever, and nothing. I don't write anything down. This is all from memory. This is not scripted. I didn't script what I wrote yesterday. I didn't rehearse it, and the same thing goes for today. This is not scripted. It's not rehearsed. This is what I've lived through, okay? And this is my memories. So, and I also wanted to say that last night, when I talk about, I've had, flashbacks, at least 1,000 flashbacks of, being shot at and, attempted murder, almost killed on April the 13th of 2002 in VOLUSIA Gold and Diamond, Daytona Beach. So I have had anxiety and flashbacks and depression, and, like I said, I'm not trying to cry poor. I don't make these videos to cry poor. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, you're rich and I'm poor and you should give me something. You know what I'm saying? You should give me something because you're rich and you're better off than I am. You should just give it to me. No, I wanted to clarify that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's doing the right thing, no matter, even if it's 20 years, people can still do the right thing, okay? They can still do the right thing. As long as we are alive and breathing and coherent, we can, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to give this message to, I'm just saying, GHAZI, Gus, it's not too late to do the right thing, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to blackmail you. I'm not trying to extort you. This is not defamation. I'm just saying, you have lived all these years. You have, a beautiful wife and beautiful children, and you've seen them grow, and they've grown, and they're, what I'm saying? I complimented your children, in the last video, and I'll say the same thing, they're all beautiful and handsome, all your girls and your boy, the girls are beautiful, your son's handsome, your daughters are beautiful, your son is handsome, they're all intelligent, they're all, and I'm not saying this because it's what, I'm not trying to say this because it's, I'm trying to get on your good side, or, I'm trying to, listen, I'm saying this because it's the truth. What I'm saying is the truth. And like I said in the other video, okay, everything I say in this video and everything I said in the last video is the truth to the best of my knowledge, okay? I'm not trying to add or subtract, I'm not trying to put down anybody, but I am saying what I have went through, Gus, you have not lived my life every second, minute, hour, day, week, month, year, decade of my life, and the same goes, I haven't lived yours, you know what I'm saying? So, but, so and like I said, see, I'm not reading a script. This is not wrote down. So if my words, if I say something incorrectly, if I pronounce something incorrectly, if I like stutter or, whatever, I apologize. I apologize from the last video. I apologize in this video. Like I said, this is not rehearsed, okay? And another thing is, like I said, I've with these flashbacks and all the negative effects that have happened to me about the event on April the 13th of 2002, what I was going to say is when I quoted the Daytona Beach News Journal, okay, what I did was, because I was, this has been years ago, I started thinking about, did those people ever get caught, I almost died there, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what they say in the article. When someone comes into a business and they're dressed in ski mask and everything else and they start shooting at somebody, which they were shooting at me, okay, that is attempted murder, okay? If they would have shot me, it would have been, that was attempted murder, okay? When you, they were not dressed in ski mask and semi-automatic guns and standing at the door and dressed in all this stuff just to what? walk into there and just start shooting randomly and grab one tray of jewelry, where Saul, like I said in the other video, Saul, 300 something pound Saul, probably about 60 years old, something like that, 60, Saul was a pretty big guy, tall and kind of heavy set and bald head and everything. And he was right beside me, and that's what I'm saying. This was not just, shots, semi-automatic and ski mask and took one tray or whatever and, just shot into, International Speedway, Volusia Gold Diamond Pawn at 9:30 in the morning. No, this was attempted murder on me. Okay, they wanted to kill me. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind. Like I said, I go around because, like I said, I have been thinking about this for so long, and I just, so I'm going to try to keep myself, but no, this was not a, there's no doubt in my mind that because I was alone that morning, and I do believe, like I said, there was a young male that came in there, and he saw that I was alone by myself. I had the gun on me for the first time ever. I was alone in that store myself. He asked for you. He asked for Gus. He asked for GHAZI Michael OSTA. I remember trying to tell him that you were in the back or something and busy, and he didn't believe me, so I think I ended up having to say that you were, you were not there and you'd be back later, I had no, the guy was not, I remember the guy was not leaving. It was just one, and, he was asking specifically for you, and like I said, when this is another thing. When I called myself a young punk, okay, that is the reason why I'm making this video. One of the main reasons why, because I'm trying to clarify when I called myself a young punk, okay? Like I said, if I would have called somebody else or, whatever, then I would have just trashed that other video and started all over, That other video would not be posted right now, okay? But I said something about myself, and I characterized myself wrong, okay? I was not a young punk when I worked for you at 23 years old, okay? Gus, you would have never hired a young punk, to work for you there. You would have never had a young punk, some young punk, open your store, by themselves and have all that responsibility and, trust me to open the store and all the merchandise and deal with the customers, the guests and everything, okay? So that is one of the main reasons why I'm clarifying this, okay? I called myself a young punk in that other video, okay? And, I was not a young punk. So, when I was 23 when I worked for you, but I'm gonna clarify this, okay? When I got out of high school, about 17 years old, I was 17 whenever I graduated high school. I turned 18 shortly after, okay? I remember going to the Seminole Town Center Mall in Sanford, Florida, okay? And I remember walking by this store, okay? This is how I'm just saying, this is my journey to, working at Volusia Gold and Diamond, in April 13th of 2002. This is my journey, and I'm going to leave some stuff out, because like I said, what everything that I cannot say with 100% truth that everything that I say is 100% truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that I am flawless and everything I'm saying is flawless. I'm saying that I am trying to be honest to the best of my ability. In the previous video, number 1, and in this number 2, okay? So I'm standing outside this jewelry store, and for some reason, it was a jewelry store, but it was a place that did watch repair. And for some reason, at a high school, I was drawn. I stood there, and I watched this guy, and it was a store. It was called Time World, and it's no longer there at the Seminole Town Center Mall in Sanford, Florida. Okay, but this is why I'm making the video to say that I was not a quote unquote young punk. But I'll tell you. Like I said, there's other events that, so for some reason I was drawn there, and I would come there and I would show up, day after day and just stand outside that jewelry store and watch this guy, and he was working on watches, and I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say I'm this, like the super gifted, and God chose me, and, like I said, I don't, all I'm saying is I was drawn for some reason that I can't say, you know what I'm I'm saying? Why was Mozart drawn to the piano? You know what I'm saying? Why are some Olympic athletes, you know what I'm saying, drawn to their, or whatever? Why are people drawn to a certain thing? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some people can say it was you know, this is a blessing from God, or, you know, I'm just saying. So day after day I stand there, and it's just a man and a woman, okay? And come to find out, the man's name was Mr. Jong-Suk Park. Mr. Jong-Suk Park. He was Korean, and he was a master watchmaker. And it was just him and his wife that were, and it was Time World, Seminole Town Center Mall, Sanford, Florida, okay? So after a while, a couple days or whatever, and I stand there hours and hours and hours, and I've never said anything to them. They haven't said nothing to me. I just stand there and watch outside of their store, okay? And at one point, I guess that, you know, they noticed, Mr. Jong-Suk Park and his wife or whatever have noticed or whatever, and see, Mr. Jong-Suk Park did not speak very good English, okay? So his wife pretty much had to say the English. You know, his wife was dealing with the customers more, you know, because she was better with English, and he would be the one doing watch repair. He was a master watchmaker. He was a NAWCC master watchmaker, okay? He was a true master watchmaker. But see, I didn't know that. But to make a long story short, at one point, his wife called me over and said, you know, something about my husband. My husband wants to know if you like this. Do you like this? And I said, yes, I do. I said, I like this. I said, I want to learn. I want to learn. I said, what do I need to do to learn? What do I, you know, I want to learn how to fix watches. I mean, I was out of high school, and I you know, I didn't know what I was going to do. So his wife said something to Mr. Jong-Suk Park, and his wife said, I said, well, what do I need, you know, because I had no experience. I hadn't, you know. And then this person said, I want, Mr. Jong-Suk Park told his wife to tell me, I want a letter from your father saying you are a good boy. That is what he wanted. That's, I mean, let me say that again, okay? He didn't know me, and I didn't know them. And the first time we talked, you know, he said, do you like this? Yes, I want to learn. I said, but how do I learn? I mean, you know, Mr. Park said to his wife, Mr. Jung-Suk Park, he wants a letter from your father saying that you're a good boy. That's what he wanted. So I said, okay. I said, I will come back, you know, as soon as possible. Today, tomorrow, I will come back with that letter. Okay. So I went home, and I was staying with my father at that point in DAYTONA. And, I said, this is going to sound probably weird, you know, but it's the truth, you know, and I told him all about it. And I told him that, you know, I wanted to learn watch repair, and, you know, and I said, but I need a letter from you, because they want a letter from my father saying that I'm a good boy. And he just kind of laughed or whatever and just wrote it. And then I either came back the same day or the next day. I think it was the next day. And I gave it to him. And I was hired. I was hired immediately. But when I say hired, like I said, I had never been in the jewelry business at that point. So that was my first real experience getting into the jewelry business and getting into watch repair. And like I said, that's a whole different video in itself. Okay. But like I said, that was my first job at Time World in the Seminole Town Center Mall. Okay. And Mr. Jung-Suk Park was a master watchmaker, and I became the manager. I still have my my pin, my thing, whatever that I put on, you know, when I wore my you know, my dress shirt and my tie and everything, and I was working there, you know, it says Time World, it says my name, and then it says manager. Okay. So I became the manager there. Okay, it was just Mr. Jung-Suk Park, his wife, and I, three of us. They sold jewelry, they sold watches like Tissot. You know, I remember they had Tissot watches, and they had other. But then Mr. Park Mr. Park was a master watchmaker, and the main thing he did was he worked on like high-end Swiss watches. He would work on Omegas and Rolexes and other watches like that. He was a true master watchmaker, okay? And I was learning from him, but there was a what does it say? I don't know how to say it. There was because he didn't speak a lot of English, it had to go, a lot of stuff had to go through his wife, when it came to if he had something to say to me. But I was basically learning by standing there and just watching him. And then he would give me some watches to take apart, put back together, take apart, put back together, over and over and over. And he would do, Mr. Park, like I said, he did a lot of things to make money. He did watch repair, he did jewelry repair, and he also fixed glasses. Like if you were to break the frames on your glasses or whatever, he would try to solder them back together. So, he did, and I remember that he would have watches sent to him from all over the world, because I'll never forget. He would get watches sent by this one guy in Alaska, okay? His name, I'll never forget it, I don't think. His name was William Jacquetta. William Jacquetta would send Mr. Jung-Suk Park watches for him to fix. And like I said, Mr. Jung-Suk Park was in Sanford, Florida, and Mr. William Jacquetta was in Alaska, okay? And Mr. Park would actually make parts to watches, if there was something wrong. That's what a true master watchmaker can do. They can make parts, and a master watchmaker is different from somebody that does just watch repair. You know what I'm saying? A master watchmaker is the top of the line, and that's what he was. But also Mr. Park would get upset with me sometimes, and he would yell at me in front of customers in Korean. And I'm saying this because I'm trying to lead on into the next thing. And I would ask his wife, why does he yell at me in front of customers? Why does he yell at me? And this is what Mr. Jung-Suk Park told his wife to tell me. He said, Mr. Jung-Suk Park said to his wife, tell him that at least he doesn't get hit in the head with a hammer, okay? Let me say that again. At least he doesn't get hit in the head with a hammer, okay? When you do watch repair, you have these little, like, brass hammers or whatever. Okay, little brass hammers. And come to find out, see, Mr. Park used to work at the Hattori factory in Seiko, Japan, okay? To the best of my knowledge, that's where he worked. It was a Seiko factory, Hattori, Japan, okay? And whenever he was learning, if he made a mistake, his teacher would hit him in the head with one of those little brass hammers, okay? So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's how he learned, was if he made a mistake, he would get hit in the head with those little brass hammers. So for Mr. Park, if he was just yelling at me in Korean in front of people, that was nothing compared to being hit in the head, if I made a mistake with one of those little brass hammers, okay? So I worked there. I become manager. I learned from him, and I was blessed, and I am blessed to have that experience, okay? But this is what happened next. They decided that they wanted to get out of the Seminole Town Center Mall in Sanford, Florida, out of that location. I guess they weren't making enough money or whatever, and they wanted to move somewhere else and try something else. So they ended up going to Pembroke Pines Mall in Miami, okay? And the reason why I know that is because they asked me to go with them. And because Mr. Park and his wife didn't speak like perfect English or whatever, I actually was part of I had to talk to the people at Pembroke Pines in Miami and try to, I was the one that knew the best English. So, I had to be like the translator and talk between Mr. Jung-Suk Park and his wife and the people at Pembroke Pines Mall in Miami. Okay. And, they ended up leaving. Okay, they ended up leaving the Seminole Town Center Mall and moving to Miami and going to Pembroke Pines Mall in Miami. And they asked me, Mr. Jung-Suk Park, his wife, asked me, They said, "Do you want to come with us?" I could have lived with them. I could have moved to Miami, okay, and lived with them and continued learning from Mr. Park, okay, but I didn't. Okay, I didn't. Like I said, at that point, I was 18 or 19 years old, somewhere around there, and I, they didn't speak a whole lot of English, and I didn't. I knew very little Korean, and at that point in my life, I was just not ready to just leave. You know what I'm saying? I had my mirror image identical twin brother. I had my grandparents and, other people, that I love and care about around, Deltona and Apopka, I'm just saying around those areas in Central Florida. And for me to just to go and move to Miami and live with them and, but do I kind of wish that I did? Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? But that's the thing. We never know. You know what I'm saying? If we make one choice, it leads us this way. If we make another choice, it leads us that way. And then that choice leads us, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, could I have been, a master watchmaker and had my own jewelry store, and driving a, Lamborghini or Ferrari or whatever? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, so when I call myself a young punk, that was my first, okay? And then the second, or like I said, I'm going to just say how I ended up. So I was at Time World first, okay? I apprenticed underneath the master watchmaker, and I learned about jewelry and from Mr. Jiangsu Park, a master watchmaker and all that. And then I remember going to school. I went to school at Winter Park Tech, and they had, at Winter Park Tech, it was where you could learn watch repair. And it was one of the few schools in the United States where they actually taught watch repair, okay? And the instructor there was Kenneth Pell. And to make a long story short, I ended up going there and getting my some certificates for watch repair that I still have to this day. Okay, Winter Park Tech, Kenneth Pell was instructor, and I learned watch repair, quartz, mechanical, automatic, and while I was doing that, I was going from pawn shop. I bought, because that was before eBay was really big, and I would go from pawn shop to pawn shop, and it was, whenever people that worked there, sometimes they hired people that didn't know the value of certain things. So what I would do was I would go from pawn shops like in Orlando and Sanford and Castleberry and around Central Florida. I would go from one pawn shop to one pawn shop, and I would look, and I would, somehow I got the money to start buying and selling, and I would go to the pawn shop, and I would look around, and I would see what they had that was nice, you know what I'm saying, that was underpriced. I was like trying to find their mistakes, but they were paid, you know what I'm saying? They were paid by the company, you know what I'm saying? To know what they were doing. And, I wasn't stealing the stuff. I was just looking where they made a mistake. And if I found it, I would buy it, and then I just turn around and flip it really quick to another pawn shop, or I would flip it really quick to an individual. And that's how I made money, I would make money. But it got to the point to where after doing this for so long, you know what I'm saying? After doing this for so long, they knew that if I walked into the pawn shop and I asked to see something and I was going to buy it, they would not give me any discount. And they knew that they messed up on the price. And so after a while, when you go to the same pawn shops over and over and over for months, months and months and months, or a year at a time, you know what I'm saying? They know you. They know what you're looking for. And, but like, I would go, into like, D-Land, like AAA Gun and Pawn, Richard Bell over there, I knew what he liked, and I knew what he would buy, and I knew how much he would pay, so sometimes I would buy something from a pawn shop in Orlando and then drive all the way over to D-Land and sell it to Richard Bell over there, and he would not pay extra for it, but so I knew I had to buy it right, so I could sell it right, because you make your money when you buy it. You don't make your money when you sell it. You have to buy it right. If you don't buy it right, you can't sell it. You can't sell it and make a profit, right? So So, and then I had a friend over at Castleberry Jewelry and Pawn, Robert. God bless. I spoke of Robert in the last video. That Robert ended up passing away. He was the owner of VOLUSIA Gold. I mean, I'm sorry, excuse me. He was the owner of Castleberry Jewelry and Pawn in Castleberry, Florida, and he ended up. The very sad part was there was a pawn shop in that same location, and the owner of that previous pawn shop died in that location also. But yeah, Robert, he was from England, and, he was a tough guy, but he was a nice guy, but he was a tough guy. And, he was like a street fighter over in London, and, bare knuckle type of stuff over in London or whatever. And he was running he owned Castleberry Jewelry and Pawn, and, he had Rolexes, he had nice high-end merchandise. He knew a lot about fine Swiss timepieces. I learned a lot from Robert. To be honest with you, Robert was the one who first educated me on Patek Philippe, okay, and Vacheron, because I thought Rolex hung the moon, and, Rolex is like McDonald's and Coke, it's a global name, and it's, Rolex does have, resale value, but as I tell everybody else, now that, if you're sitting say you're in a boardroom, and you're in that boardroom with the CEO, the president of, say, Pepsi and McDonald's and Walmart and you name it, you know what I'm saying? Apple. I'm just saying all these great companies. If you're wearing a, like a Patek Tourbillon, in that boardroom, you know what I'm saying, with those, then you're going to be hard pressed to, for anybody to look down upon you. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're wearing a nice men's, platinum Patek Tourbillon, on your wrist, and you're sitting there with other executives and kings and queens of the world, if you will, that's what I always tell everybody, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you're sitting there with a Rolex Air King, a stainless steel Rolex Air King or something next to somebody that's, wearing a nice, like I said, a platinum Patek Tourbillon or something, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to downgrade anything, but there's different levels, and like I said, it's taken me a long time, I've been in the jewelry business off and on and in different areas and facets and wholesale and retail and everything else, now for, 20 something years. So, I'm just saying, but so I was going to school, and then I was buying and selling, doing all that stuff too. And then remember, at some point, I started working for, what was it? Value Pawn. I think it was Value Pawn. That's where So I started working for Value Pawn, I believe, in this, because this was me learning. It was me trying to, learn about all different facets of the business, you know what I'm saying? About fine Swiss timepieces, about, high quality diamonds, high carat gold, colored stones, emeralds and sapphires and rubies, So, I don't think I held a job, very long, during this period, because I was trying to learn. You can't learn a whole, everything at like a Value Pawn. You know what I'm saying? You can't learn everything that you need to know on, your own when you're going from, pawn shop to pawn shop and buying from one and selling to another, whatever. So I was trying to gain knowledge in all these areas and watch repair, and then, like I said, other things, okay? And then I ended up going to Sears Watch and Jewelry Repair. I ended up back at the Seminole Town Center Mall in Sanford, Florida, and I remember working there at Sears Watch and Jewelry Repair, okay? So it was Sears Watch and Jewelry Repair, but what we did there was just the watch repair. I remember I didn't do any jewelry repair, and I don't believe, maybe we could take in jewelry, but maybe, but as far as I know, I would take watch repair, I would just, I would be basically there by myself, and we would do, batteries and all, just, it was just Sears watch and jewelry repair and in the Seminole Town Center Mall. So, I would be there by myself, and people would just drop off watches for batteries or band adjustments or, probably like stems, crowns, crystals, basic stuff like that. Okay. And then I believe I ended up at Volusia Gold and Diamond after that. Okay. So when I say I was a young punk, I don't mean I was a young punk. First off, like I said, Gus would have never hired me and trusted me with his merchandise and, most importantly, his customers, his guests, if I was a young punk, okay? So I'm making this video mainly to correct that statement, okay? That's number one, okay? And when I said I was a young punk, what I meant was GHAZI OSTA, Gus, was the owner of Volusia Gold and Diamond. He was the face. He was the owner. People respected him. And whenever I came in there, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? The clothes that I wore were not like name brand clothes. And this is going to lead up to something. This is what I was going to touch on something after. Okay. The reason why I said this was, when it comes to the young punk or whatever. Okay. Like I said, I did not have a lot of money at all when I worked for Gus. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a nice vehicle. I didn't have really nice name brand clothes or anything like that. Like I said, I needed the money and I needed the job, and, for me to, because like I said, I knew Gus, I knew GHAZI Michael Osta from whenever I was doing the buying and selling from pawn shop to pawn shop, and Gus did, I learned a lot from Gus also, so like I said, I'm not trying to knock, what I'm saying? I'm not knocking, Gus, GHAZI Michael Osta. I'm not knocking him. I'm not degrading him. I'm just saying. I'm saying the truth and the facts, of what has happened to me. Okay. So Gus knew me, and I believe Tom passed away. Tom, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. Montrose, something like that, and because Tom was working for Gus, for I believe a while, you know what I'm saying? And I used to come in there, and it would be Gus and it would be Tom, Tom, I remember having this mustache, and he wore a Rolex Presidential, yellow gold Presidential with these dagger hands, I still remember. And like I said, that was back in, somewhere around 2000, 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? So, it would have had to have been before 2002 because that's when I was there. But, I'm just saying, I remember, I would come to Gus and, like I said, I was trying to gain knowledge. And Gus was knowledgeable, and I would come there, from Daytona or from, Orlando or whatever, and I would drive all that way, to look at his merchandise, to ask him questions, to gain knowledge, and maybe I had something to buy or sell, and that's how I met Saul also, a friend of Gus's and GHAZI, and so when I said I was a young punk, that when I was there by myself, or whenever I started working there, this is what I'm leading up to, okay? When I started working at Volusia Gold and Diamond with Gus, I was, when I first started there, I had to learn about the merchandise. I had to learn, how he wanted me to take care of his guests, about how he wanted things done. It was his store, I was employed by Gus, GHAZI Michael Osta, so, I was not a young punk. I was respectful. I tried to dress the best I could with the money that I had, and, but see, Gus, if Gus had, I remember he had a Hummer, Lamborghini Hummer at that point in 2002. And he would, if I needed to make a deposit at the bank, I would drive his Hummer to the bank, or if I had to go pick up, food, for the afternoon, I would be the one to go, and when they found out when Gus found out what he wanted for food or whatever, I would be the one, and I would get in his Hummer and I would go pick it up and bring it back. Okay. Because the vehicle I drove, I remember, it was not a brand new vehicle. It probably wasn't super reliable. And, but yeah, so Gus let me drive his Hummer, his Lamborghini Hummer to make deposits and pick up food and stuff like that. Okay. So if I was a young punk, he would never let me do that. Okay. I would have never been there if I was a quote unquote young punk. What I mean by a young punk, this is what I'm talking about. when I first started working there or whatever, even whenever I was working there, I had to learn, so if somebody brought in something to pawn, like a diamond, diamonds, or anything like that, I would look at it, but I would get the final decision on the pawn amount or whatever, the buy amount or anything, from Gus, and this is what I remember. There would be some young males that come in there, and I don't know how to categorize it. Sometimes you could smell there was a smell in the air whenever they would come in there, and it was marijuana, and I believe sometimes, not being rude or anything, what I'm saying? I was not being rude. I was 23 years old, what I'm saying? And, at 23 years old, you're not the wisest person in the world, and I wasn't, but I would say something about, just make a comment to Gus or, whatever about that smell or whatever, I mean, I wasn't around weed, marijuana, a lot or whatever, but, I remember sometimes these people would make comments to me, in front of Gus, like, hey, when you're going to teach this guy how to dress right, what I'm saying? And, they would just make, comments, because like I said, I didn't wear name brand clothes, and Gus was the owner, and, these people knew Gus, what I'm saying? They dealt with Gus, and I was just, just this young, I mean, I was 23 years old, but, like I said, I tried to dress nice. I tried to act professional, but I was not Gus. I was not GHAZI Michael OSTA, what I'm saying? And that's who they were used to dealing with, So, they would sometimes, like I said, I still remember them saying, when you gonna teach this guy how to dress right, what I'm saying? And, I still, I mean, believe me, I wanted to dress right. I wanted to be able to wear a nice, genuine Rolex, what I'm saying? And wear, like, nice name brand clothes, what I'm saying? And shoes and pants and shirts and, I wanted all that. But I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money for that, and that's why I said in the last video that I needed that job, because I did. I needed that job, I needed a job, and plus, that was an area of that I was gaining knowledge from Gus, and I was around high quality merchandise, genuine Rolexes and high end fine Swiss timepieces and GI certified high quality diamonds and high quality colored stones, high carat gold, but I would make sales, I would make sales, and I would treat the customers, the guests, with respect. So I was not a young punk, but like I said, I was not Gus, okay? So, like, these same people that would come in there or whatever, and they would say, when you're going to teach this, kid how to dress or whatever, and they would say, like, rude comments to me or whatever, I never said anything back to them, what I'm saying? I mean, I was embarrassed myself, I wish I had better clothes. I wish I was able to wear a better watch, and even if I was able to wear a watch back then or whatever, have a watch, I mean, I'm just saying, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have nice clothes and nice vehicle and a Rolex and all this stuff. So, to make a long story short, see, that stands out in my mind, and that was back in 2002. Okay, another thing. This is the key thing that I remember. Okay, this is the key thing that I remember. I remember some of the same people that were talking to Gus and saying, when you're going to teach this kid how to dress or whatever, I remember one time, this one guy or whatever, or there was two guys or whatever, they brought in a diamond, and I forget I think it was a diamond ring, okay? I think it was a diamond ring, and they wanted to either sell it or pawn it, okay? I remember. This is like the moment that I realize, and now that I realize everything changed, okay? Because, like I said, I've had 20 years to think about this, and like I said, if Gus had video cameras, then I could have, what I'm saying, showed the cops or whatever. We could have went back and we could have looked at the videotapes, because back then it was videotapes, VHS probably in 2002 or whatever. I don't know. What I'm saying, it could be DVDs or whatever, but I doubt it. But see, at least we could have had a reference to start with. What I'm saying, with the people in the ski mask that tried to kill me. You know what I'm saying? That tried to murder me April the 13th, 2002, But no, like I said, Gus didn't have any. He didn't have any video cameras, all that merchandise, all those hundreds, thousands of dollars or whatever worth of merchandise there, you know what I'm saying? And, like I said, you want to make your money, but you want to be able to leave, and, you want to leave and enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? You want to make the money and leave and go home to your wife and your children, whatever, and come back and do it again and again and again, but it's safety first. And if if the owner should make sure, first and foremost, that his, his employees and his customers are safe. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't care enough to have video cameras for himself, or a buzzer on the door for himself, or a panic button on them for themselves so that they know they work, and to teach the employees exactly how to fire a gun or whatever, and how the gun or whatever. And if he doesn't do that for himself, he should do it for his employees and the protection of his employees and his guest. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. This is not defamation. It's not talk. It's the truth. Okay. So I'm going back to this one instant because, like I said, this is to me. I was thinking back over this is the key moment. Okay. So I remember, like I said, some of the people that were talking bad about me and saying, about when you're going to teach this kid how to dress and making comments like that. I remember one or two of these people came in and was wanting to pawn or sell a diamond. Okay. So I look at it. Okay. And I have a loop, and I know how to look at diamonds, but I mean, I am not like a GI certified gemologist. You know what I'm saying? I am not I don't have, 30, 40 years of experience like Gus does. You know what I'm saying? I'm 23 years old. I may have, a couple years of experience, okay? But, so I start looking at it, and I'm looping the diamond, and I see a chip in the diamond, okay? When I say chip, there is, part of the diamond is missing, okay? Part of the diamond is missing, which virtually rules it worthless, okay? This was not a tremendously big diamond, and I think they wanted to borrow like maybe 200 or sell it for like 200 or something. I don't know, somewhere around there. It was not a tremendous amount of money, you know what I'm saying? But, so I looked at it and I saw the flaw, okay? And listen, I'm this is the truth, and I'm not trying to put down Gus or anything, okay? But he looked at it, he looped it, and he said, go ahead and, yeah, that's fine. Give him the money or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I said, but Gus, look at the diamond. It's chipped. There's a chip in the diamond. And I showed him, and he said, oh yeah. He said, I'm sorry, boo-boo. We can't, no, I'm sorry. We can't do anything with this, And like I said, that was the turning point. I remember that was the turning point. I believe that was the turning point where whoever that was trying to pawn that diamond ring or whatever, trying to pawn or sell that or whatever. And there was, maybe, I think if they weren't alone there, and this was, I would say like, a week or two or something like that earlier. Okay. But I believe, because those people were not happy at all at me. They were not happy at all with me. I was standing there, and I was the person, because Gus already said, yeah, go ahead and do it, and then I said, but Gus, look, there's a chip in the diamond, and then he looked at it again. Oh yeah, he said, I'm sorry. He said, yeah, he's right. I mean, there is a chip. I missed it, blah, blah, blah. Listen, nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, I'm just saying, but this is the truth, and whenever I looked at those people, they were pissed. They were pissed, and they were pissed at me because Gus already said to go ahead and do it, and then I pointed out the flaw, Now, if I would not have pointed out the flaw, I'm saying, that I saw, and I went ahead and took it, I would have been the one, you know what I'm saying? I would have, I'm not, I was employed by Gus. I was employed by GHAZI Michael Osta, the owner of VOLUSIA Gold and Diamond, to try to make the right decisions, you know what I'm saying? I was there to make money, not lose money, okay? So if I saw something and didn't say anything because I was scared of those people or whatever, then, I shouldn't be there, but that transpired, and I truly believe that those people right there were the ones that came back and had the ski mask and the guns and tried to kill me. Like I said, and the person that came in, that the young male that came in by himself early that morning on April the 13th of 2002, I don't know if he was exactly one of the people that came back and, was at the door with the semi-automatic guns and the ski mask and all that stuff, and that tried to kill me. I can't say, because like I said, but that's what I'm saying. But if there was cameras, we could have went back, you know what I'm saying? But there was no cameras, so I that's what I had to clarify. And right now, this video is at 53 minutes and 43 seconds. So I tried in the video that I made yesterday. I tried to upload in better quality, and for some reason it would not upload, so I had to upload that. And I don't want to. I had trouble uploading it for some reason, and then so I don't want to make this one a tremendous amount of, because I'm going to try to upload this before we leave and go to, my wife's father's memorial and my wife's very good friend memorial, today, both of them today at virtually the same time, which is, it's just sad. It's something that I'm definitely, but I'm going for my wife, because I just, I don't like going to funerals and memorials and stuff, but it just shows us how, how mortal we truly are. And that's why we should try to do the right thing, what I'm saying, before we ever leave this earth, and like I said, Gus, VOLUSIA Golden Diamond, Gus, GHAZI, Michael, OSTA, it's never too late to do the right thing. And I'm not making these videos, to talk bad about you, or to blackmail you, or to extort you, or nothing like that. It's not defamation, But like I said, this is what I've lived, and this is what I've went through, You have, you have lived, and you have, you have you and your wife and everything have an extremely nice house, extremely nice business, extremely nice, fine Swiss timepieces and, high quality diamonds and all this merchandise, all these Rolexes and all these diamonds and, yes, y'all have a beautiful store. You have a beautiful store, beautiful house, beautiful vehicles, beautiful children, you go on beautiful vacations, you eat beautiful food, And, I'm just saying after 20 years, of me having at least 1,000 flashbacks and PTSD and anxiety and depression and everything, never once have you done the right thing for me. And like I said, I just like I said last night, I literally almost didn't even make that video yesterday and post it or anything until after Christmas, because even after 20 years, I'm just saying, you know how to get a hold of me. So it's not like, and just like I said before, this is not 1902, when this happened, it was 2002 and it's 2022 right now. So, you're saying you never knew how to get a hold of me, or you don't know how to get a hold of me now, or you don't this or that, or, it's extremely easy. And you know where I'm at, we talked on the phone, and just like I said in the other video, after all this time, you offer me a couple $100. I can wire you a couple $100 to Walmart or whatever, because I reached out to you, years ago in like 2020 or whatever, and then you were overseas, and then I ended up calling you because you know what happened. We talked on the phone, and it was during COVID, and you said you were still open or whatever, and still doing business, and you said I can send you a couple $100. I can send you a couple $100 to Walmart. Wire you a couple $100 to Walmart or whatever, because you said you were having to pay $2,000 a month rent on the apartment for Pavlina. That was, you were paying the $2,000 apartment rent per month for Pavlina on our apartment because she was living in New York. And I said, no, Gus. I said, no, that's okay. That's okay. You don't know. You keep the money, because like I said, after, it was about 18 years then. It's like over 20 years now. You know what I'm saying? I never asked you for anything. I never reached out to you. You never tried to make things right, and you still haven't tried to make things right, And like I said, I'm not trying to extort you. I'm not trying to blackmail you. How hard is it? I'm just saying, I do not find it wrong for asking somebody to search their heart and do the right thing. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, and when I begin, do I believe that the rich have an obligation to help the poor, and you must help the poor, because you've done well in life and you made great decisions or whatever, that you are forced, to do something for somebody that, no, that's not how it goes. What it goes, like I said, and I'm just going to say this one last time, and then I'm going to stop the video or whatever, okay? But like I said before, okay, I needed the job, okay, I needed the money. And I was there, and I opened the store by myself. It was April the 13th, 2002. It was a Friday. I always said a Saturday because I thought it was a Saturday, but now I think it's even odder that it was a Friday. I don't even know. But like I said, I've thought about this over and over and over and over. Like I said, I probably thought about this 10,000 times over the past 20 years, and I've had at least roughly 1,000, panic attacks and flashbacks about this, because I was the one that almost died. Saul almost died. He could have died. You know what I'm saying? It was a miracle that Saul and I didn't both die. You know what I'm saying? You were not there. You didn't have to deal with it, you know? But I should have never been put in a position to open up that store by myself with no cameras and no buzzer on the door. And you never even told me exactly how to use that gun, okay? So, and all I'm going to say is, when I was standing there, and I went through all, you know, I'm not going to go through all this again in the previous video. Anybody, please look at the first video, listen to the first video, you know, and then listen to all this too, if you're listening to both number 1 and number 2, okay? Number 1, you know, number 2, GHAZI, Gus, Michael, OSTA, Volusia, Golden Diamond, Daytona Beach, number 1, and this number 2, okay? So, what I'm telling you is, because like I said, I still remember, I was sitting in the middle of the floor, you know what I'm saying, in the horseshoe with your all your jewelry cases, you know, the gold and the diamond or whatever, and behind that was the wall, the concrete wall with the walls and the bars over the walls and everything. I still remember in the middle of it, I was just in shock, and I was sitting with my legs kind of crouched up or whatever, and you came in there and you were upset. You were asking me, did I kill him? Did I shoot him or whatever? And I said, no. I said, you know, it happened so quick or whatever. But like I said, thank God Saul was there. Because if I was there by myself, there's no doubt in my mind I would be dead. They didn't want to just come in there and shoot some shots or whatever and take the cheapest tray of sterling silver jewelry in the whole place. No, they were expecting and hoping that I would be by myself. There's no doubt in my mind they would have killed me and taken whatever they wanted. There was hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise in that store. Okay. Do you think they went through all this? You know, the ski mask and the guns and the semi-automatics and all that stuff or whatever. Do you think they did all that to come in there and take one tray of sterling silver jewelry? Absolutely not. You know, but like I said, it just shows they saw me and they saw Saul. You know, both of us standing there, and they still went ahead and did it. They could have left, but I guess at that point right now they just said, well, we're here and we're already in ski mask. We had the guns or whatever. We're just going to do something, you know? But like I'm telling you, when I looked up at that door, and like I said, I was wearing slick dress shoes. They didn't have treads on the soles or whatever. It was a miracle from God that, you know, that Saul was there and that Saul and I did not get shot, harmed, killed, you know, because if I would have been there by myself, if Saul was not there, there's no doubt in my mind I would have died in that store. I would have died in that store by myself, and nobody would have heard my last dying words, okay? There was no video. There was no nothing. I would have died alone in that store, you know, praying to God. And nobody would have heard my last dying words. Nobody would have saw my last dying moments, okay? Because there was no cameras, okay? There was no buzzer on the door. There was no panic button. You know, you didn't show me how to work that gun. I never fired that gun. I never, you know. So, no, I'm not saying that, oh, because you've got all this and you've got all this merchandise, you got all these Rolexes and, you know, because you wear, you know, like I said, yes, I mean, I'm just saying, you have, yeah, I mean, you can't help but see, you know, when you know, and like I said, I want nothing bad to ever happen to you, GHAZI, Gus, Michael, OSTA. I want nothing bad to ever happen to you, to Volusia Diamond, to Volusia Golden Diamond, to any of your children, to your wife, to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to. No, that is not even 1/10 of 1,000th of 1,000,000th of 1,000,000,000% true at all. You know what I'm saying? I want nothing bad. I'm telling the truth of what I've went through. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, I look, you know, and I see, you know, like I said, in one picture alone, you have at least $500,000, more than that probably, $500,000 worth of jewelry. You know what I'm saying? You've got, I don't even know. You've got your Rolex date presidential tri-door masterpiece, okay, with the factory diamond bezel and factory meteorite diamond dial, men's, okay. In that one picture, you have an 18 karat yellow gold Patek. You have an 18 karat gold Cartier. You have diamond bracelets. You have, just in this one picture, you know, It's at least $500,000 worth of jewelry in that one picture, And then something else you say, life is good. Yes, life is good, Yes, life is good, Like I said, you have beautiful house and beautiful wife and beautiful children, a beautiful store and beautiful merchandise, and you go on beautiful vacations and you eat beautiful food. Yeah, it's great. But what about the person 20 years ago that you've done absolutely nothing for, that has, like I said, that's had to go through this for 20 years, and I do not see this stopping at all. It hasn't stopped for 20 years. Why would it stop now? I think it's going to stop when I die. That's when it's going to stop, And like I said, I had something happen to me about 10 years after this, but I'm not equating that into the equation at all. So I want to say that too. This was by far the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. You know what I'm saying? It is by far the worst event that's ever happened to me in my life, physically or mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because, in all accounts, it was by the grace of God and by Saul showing up there that I did not die. I did not die in that store, Volusia Gold and Diamond, on April the 13th, 2002. And like I said, I don't think I ever worked there again. I don't think I came back, maybe years later, I remember I came back or whatever, and I came into the store, and I took a Polaroid, and I sent you that Polaroid where I'm leaned over the counter, and you were on one side, I'm on the other side. I had somebody take a picture or whatever. I sent that back to you. I sent, Tom's business card or whatever back to you. I sent some things back to you just to prove, whenever I was, I never asked you for anything. I sent that stuff to you to prove that's who all the stuff. I sent you all that. I wrote everything, I wrote stuff that only I would have known or whatever. But, you said you were overseas or whatever when you came back or whatever. And then, you called or whatever. And then I called you. And then that's when you offered me the couple $100, I can wire you a couple $100 to Walmart, after, and that was in 2020, and I haven't heard nothing from you since. Nothing at all. And it's 2022, almost Christmas, And you know where I'm just saying, you know where I live. You know how to get a hold of me. You have my address right on those things that I sent you, and I talked to you, and, that's what I said. You could have done, the right thing, in these past 2 years, but you haven't, and like I said, here comes another Christmas, and you're smiling and making a great video with, Sienna, she's beautiful and she's smart, intelligent and everything. And you're smiling and she's smiling and showing merchandise in your store, your beautiful store and everything, and I'm thinking to myself, I remember that store, I was there, I was there in that store, I almost died in that store. But whoever talks about Brian Lee Horn, who does, I wonder if, Sienna and Pavlina and Fiona and David know about Brian Lee Horn, in April the 13th, 2022. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if anybody, that's what I'm saying, I think about this over and over, you know what I'm saying? I think about this over and over, but that's what, like I said in the other video, I don't ever cross your mind. I think about this over and over, flashbacks of that day and almost dying and all this stuff or whatever, because I was, like I said, I should have never been put in that position, but because I needed the job and I needed the money, I showed up, even though I was having the nightmares and I had premonitions that this was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? I needed the money. I needed the job, I needed it. So I did the right thing and I showed up, because I knew that if I didn't show up, that you would be upset and you would probably fire me rightfully or whatever, or you would be mad and upset and not trust me. This is the first time you ever, that I ever opened the store by myself. You know what I'm saying? It was the first and last and only time, and that's what I'm saying. What I say is, evil people and criminals. What I say is evil people and criminals look for opportunities. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think, I'm just saying, do you think that it was just happenstance? Do you think it was just a miracle or something that the first time I opened the store by myself, the first time I opened the store by myself was when this happened and I almost died on April the 13th, 2002. It was a Friday and Saul was there and whatever, you were not there. Do you think that this was just by happenstance? Like you said, you said before, this has never happened. This has never happened before. And I agree with that. It hasn't. It only takes once. Criminals, evil people look for opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I said they respected you and they were talking about me, you know, people come in there and say, oh, you know, when you're going to teach me how to dress or whatever. And whenever I pointed out that chip and the diamond, you know, and then, you know, they thought they were going to have this money or whatever, and then they didn't, and they were pissed off at me. Like I said, you know, because I pointed the flaw out to you and you said, no, boo-boo, I'm sorry, we can't do this. It has a chip or whatever, you know, you said yes, and I pointed out, and then you said no, and they didn't get any money, you know. Like I said, all this comes together. They were pissed off at me, and they looked for the opportunity to where you were not there. And whenever that young man came in there, you know, early in the morning or whatever, the only person that ever came in before Saul, you know, I believe that person came in there and cased it out or whatever, made sure that you weren't there, that I was alone by myself. That person left, and then they got together or whatever, and then Saul came in. You know, Saul came in right, pretty much very close to when those people came with standing out there by the door, you know, with the ski mask and the long black shirts and pants and gloves and the guns, and one was loading the gun at the, you know. But like I said, it happened so quick. I'm telling you, Gus. When you said, oh, did you kill him? Did you shoot him or whatever? No, I had the gun on me. That was the first time. Like I said, I had nightmares, and I knew something horrible was going to happen, but yet I did the right thing because, like I said, I needed the money, and you were trusting me to open the store, and, you know, I did. I went there, and I opened the store. You know what I'm saying? You were feeding your kids pancakes, you know. You were coming in late or whatever. I came there. I opened the store. You know, I put out the merchandise. You know, I did everything, you know, that I was supposed to do, you know, as a good employee, you know. But it happened, I'm telling you, it happened so quick. When I looked up or whatever, I had the gun on me, but I'll say this again, and I'll say it over and over because it's the truth. It happened in such a split second. If I was going to stand there and pull the gun out and try to shoot them, first off, I found out that the safety was on when I was in that dark closet, that black closet, hiding in there, thinking I was going to die, and saying, I'm 23 years old, I can't believe I'm going to die right here. I'm 23 years old, I'm going to die right now. I'm going to die right now. You know what I'm saying? I kept on thinking, and I was trying to get the gun out, and I was trying to get it work, but then whenever I got out of the thing, I noticed that the safety was on or whatever. So even if I would have stood there and pulled out the gun and tried to shoot, I couldn't have shot because the safety was on. Okay? And I would have died. Okay? It's in that article that I'm including in this video and the other video. Like I said, I got this article by calling someone from the Daytona Beach library. I talked to somebody from the library who had archives of the Daytona Beach News Journal. And that person was nice enough to get them and email me. You know what I'm saying? And I had pictures of the exact article, you know, but I just turned around because I didn't want to include pictures of the actual article, because I didn't want this all my efforts and all my time and everything, and I didn't want these videos to get banned or blocked or deleted. You know what I'm saying? So what I put up here is as far as I know verbatim of what the Daytona Beach News Journal said on April the 13th, 2002 on a Friday. It was under News Watch, and that's what it, you know, I wrote everything that was on that article in this video and in the previous video. So all I'm saying is, yeah, and you were mad. Did you shoot him? Did you kill him? Whatever. And like I said, thank God, Saul, nothing happened to Saul, and Saul was able to tell you because you trust Saul. You know what I'm saying? He told you. It happened so quick. There's absolutely no way I could have done anything. You know what I'm saying? I moved to my left. I saw them. I yelled to Saul on the right-hand side. Saul, and I moved to my left, and they started shooting at me, trying to kill me, you know? And I went and I hid into that broom closet or whatever. It was pitch black dark, and the only light was where the where those things, whatever, the knobs or whatever were supposed to be, but it was empty because there was no knobs or nothing. There was no locks on the doors. It was just empty cutouts or whatever. And I'm there. And I said, like I said, they could have just came in there and they didn't even have to open the door. They could have just shot or whatever. And I'd have been dead probably, you know, like shooting a fish in a barrel, or open it up and just shot me, you know, visually, you know, got better, you know. But I'm not going to go over all this again, you know. But like I said, it happened, and so it happened so quick. It happened so quick. There was absolutely, if I pulled out the gun, and like I said, even if I pulled out the gun and I tried to shoot, I could not have got off a shot because the safety was on, that I found out later. Because whenever I finally got out of the closet or whatever, and I was looking at the gun, and I had to put the gun down before the cops came in there, you know what I'm saying? I was looking at the gun trying to figure out why, you know, I couldn't get it to do anything at all. And I looked, and I think I noticed that the safety was on or whatever, you know? But I never fired that. I've never fired that gun, you know. You showed me the gun, but I never fired the gun. I never, you know, I had the holster on, I had the gun on, and that's why I said that was one of the reasons why I was there by myself, and for the first time I put that on because I was by myself. And when that person came in there and cased out and saw that I had gun, that's, you know, they came back, ski mask, guns, everything, locked and loaded, ready to go. And they didn't just come in there and just randomly shoot and want to take the cheapest stray in the whole. No, there's no doubt in my mind. They thought I was alone. They wanted to kill me and take the most expensive stuff. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind. They wanted to kill me, and like I said, there was no cameras. There was no buzzer on the door. You know what I'm saying? Where they couldn't get the jump. You know. They couldn't get the jump on, you know, if you had a buzzer on the door, you visually look and you can let people in. If there's a camera, you look at the camera, you see who's at the door and you buzz them in, you let them in or you don't let them in, you know? Or if somebody's in your store and they try to steal something, they run to the door, they can't open it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, you know, there's no doubt in my mind, and rightfully so. You've got cameras and hopefully buzzers and all kind of security measures right now because, yeah, you want to make your money, but you want to leave and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? There's no sense, you know? I don't want anybody to go through what I went through and I've been going through for 20 years. And like I said, I don't see it stopping, and I'm not going to keep on going on right now. Because like I said, I got to get ready. I woke up, you know, I went to bed or whatever. And that's another thing. Yesterday, whenever I did those videos, you know, I don't have money. I don't have money for any, I don't have money to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist and you know, talk to them and whatever and get medication and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not on disability. I don't get a check, you know, I never have, you know, so, you know, and this is over 20 something years later, you know, I'm just saying. So, you know, what I found is, you know, the diphenhydramine, you know, I don't even know if that's what you call it or whatever, you know, it's like the Benadryl, you know, the diphenhydramine, the Benadryl, they also put it in like the sleeping aids or whatever. Yeah. So like last night when I was making the videos and you know, the only thing that I found that, you know, because like I said, I don't do illegal drugs. I don't drink alcohol, you know, I don't smoke, I don't dip, I don't do, you know, like I said, I am far from a saint, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling the truth right here. So what I've learned is if I'm having anxiety attacks, you know what I'm saying? If I have anxiety or post-traumatic stress disorder, whatever it's called, flashbacks or whatever, the one thing I've found, and I know it's not healthy, you know, because I take those, because I take it every single day. Every single day I take this because it's the only thing I find, and the only thing that I can buy, you know, quick and fast. It's legal, you know what I'm saying? To, you know, try to slow my anxiety, you know, try to slow my flashbacks and all this stuff or whatever. So there's diphenhydramines, the sleeping aid, the Benadryl or whatever, you know, it says take 1 or 2 or something or whatever. I mean, I take 6 at a time. And sometimes I take like 3 more later, you know, and it's the only thing that I can do. I don't have the money. I don't have the money to get real medicine. I don't have the money to go to a psychiatrist or psychologist, you know. So I got to do what I got to do. What I got to do to survive, to get by. Sometimes second to second, minute to minute, hour by hour, day after day, day by day, week by week, you know, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, you know, I'm just saying. So like last night, you know, I had already taken, you know, like six or 9 of those diphenhydramines again when I was making that video, you know, but I was still reliving the event, you know. And like today, I haven't taken nothing, and I'm making this video. So I can't take it because we're going to have to go, and we're going to 2 memorials today. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to post this, and I hope it took me forever. It was hard for me to post this. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying. So this is video number 2. I made video number 1, GHAZI, Gus, Michael, Osta, Volusia Golden Diamond, Daytona Beach. That's number 1. This is number 2. GHAZI, Gus, Michael, Osta, Volusia Golden Diamond, Daytona Beach. Okay, this is 1 and number 2. Okay, I'm not trying to extort you, GHAZI, Michael, Osta. I'm not trying to blackmail you. I'm not trying to, you know, this is not defamation. I'm not, you know, I'm not talking bad about, you know, I'm telling the truth, okay? There's a difference between telling the truth and defamation and just talking bad about somebody. You know what I'm saying? Extortion, blackmail, all that stuff, okay? Sienna, she's a lawyer. She knows, okay? So, you know, there's a difference, okay? I have lived this, okay? I was there. And that's why I said, before, it was just like a documentary. This is like a documentary. The first video I made is like a documentary. This second video, documentary. You know why? Because it's happened to me and it's first person, okay? So it's not defamation, okay? And I'm not saying, hey, in the first video, in this video, I never once said, hey, Gus, send me a Rolex or I'm going to say this. Hey, send me a Rolex or whatever, or I'm going to do this. No, that is called blackmail. That's extortion. That's, that's illegal. Never once have I done that. I didn't do it in the first video, and I'm not doing it in this video. I just say, in 20 years, you haven't done the right thing by me. You're a smart man. You're a smart man. You have a heart. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt in my mind. You could not be a evil man. You could not be a evil man, an unkind man, and have a wife and children and a business and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're a smart man. You are a kind man. I'm just saying, I'm not talking bad about you. But you haven't done the right thing by me. I've proven it beyond any doubt in the first video and the second video. Okay, and that's why I said I don't care who watches this and listens to this and reads because I am not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not fabricating. I'm not embellishing. I'm telling the truth to the best of my knowledge. Okay. So all I'm going to say is, and this is not blackmail. This is not extortion. This is the truth. It's never too late to do the right thing, Gus. It's never too late. You know where I live. You have my address. I'm just saying, you can do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You can do the right thing if you want to. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to say. That's not extortion. That's not blackmail. That's just saying the truth. So, God bless you, Gus, GHAZI Michael OSTA. God bless your wife, Leah. I'm hoping that's that I say that wrong. If that's wrong, I sincerely apologize. Your daughter, Sienna, I hope I say that right. God bless you. Pavlina, God bless you. I hope I say that right. Fiona, God bless you. I hope I say that right. And David, God bless you. I hope I say that right. God bless VOLUSIA and Diamond. I want nothing bad to happen to anybody. Nobody that I've ever said anything in this video, anybody that I've named in this video, I want nothing bad to happen to. VOLUSIA and Diamond, I want nothing bad to happen to. All I'm saying is, I'm saying the truth, what has happened to me, and I'm saying it's never too late to do the right thing, okay? Gus has never said he was sorry. Gus has never done, anything to, I'm just saying, I'm just going to leave it at that. So, he knows, it's the truth. I'm speaking the truth. If I was lying, you know what I'm saying? If I was lying, I would not make this video. Why would I make this video, you know what I'm saying? To get the wrath, I'm just saying, hypothetically get the wrath of GHAZI Michael OSTA, you know what I'm saying? I know he's got a lot of, I'm just saying, Gus, I know you got a lot more money than I do. I know you can hire great attorneys or whatever. I have no money. I'm broke. I'm in debt. I have nothing. I have no property. I have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm just saying. There's two sides to every story. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, life. I'm just saying, I'm saying this analogy and then I'm gonna stop. In life, there's kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? This is just an analogy, okay? Kings and queens, like Queen Elizabeth and King Charles, they live in palaces. They eat the best food. They wear the best clothes. You know what I'm saying? They can afford the best. People respect them. They sing songs about them. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. I hope this, shoot. I hope that it's still going. I had an alarm set because I was trying to sleep and I couldn't sleep and so I'm sorry. I hope this. Sorry. Let me go back and try to turn off this stuff. I set my alarms because, like I said, I'm going to two memorials today with my wife. So. But, like I said, I woke, I don't even know. And then I woke up having anxiety attacks and I've been thinking about this, having to clarify that call me a punk thing or whatever, and that's, like I said, if I said something negative or something I thought that I said harmful or wrong or untruthful or whatever about somebody else, I would have deleted the video number one. But no, I said something about myself and I wanted to I'm keeping the video up and I'm clarifying it in this video along with some other things. But what I said earlier, and I'm hoping this, because it's 1 hour and 23 minutes and 4 seconds. And I said I wasn't going to make this but I don't even know how long this is compared to the other one. Oh my gosh. But, Because I don't, like I said, this is not, I have not wrote a word about this. I have not wrote a word down nothing. I haven't rehearsed this, just like yesterday. I didn't write anything. It wasn't rehearsed. This is not an act, This is not some type of, this is what I've went through, So that's what I'm saying. Well, what I said earlier, yeah. I mean, it's like two sides, in this world. You have kings and queens. They live the best. They wear the best. People respect them. You know what I'm saying? You can't even touch them. They sing songs to you, like Queen Elizabeth and King Charles and all these people. And then, like I said, on the opposite end of the spectrums, you've got people homeless, addicted to drugs or whatever, mental illness, eating out of garbage cans, you know what I'm saying? Living on the streets, eating out of garbage cans, and I'm just saying, even worse than that, you've got multi-billionaires, you know what I'm saying? Like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all these people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Bill Gates, I'm just saying, you have the extreme top and you have the extreme bottom. That's all I'm saying in this world. And that's one thing I've learned, That's one thing I've learned. So, I don't know. I'm going to stop. So once again, this is Brian Lee Horn. I'm not including, like I said, I'm not including my face, a picture of me. I'm not including a picture of anything. VOLUSIA Gold Diamond, GHAZI, OSTA, nothing. I mean, I'm nothing, I'm not including any pictures of anything. All I'm including are pictures of the article from the Daytona Beach News Journal on April the 13th, 2002, and that's all I'm doing in that video, in this video, you know what I'm saying? I'm not including no pictures, I'm not including nothing, okay? So, once again, right now, it's 11:03 in the morning, and this is December the 11th, 2022. It's a Sunday, and my name is Brian Lee Horn. If I was, I'm just saying, the reason why I'm saying my full, truthful name is because what I've said is the truth. What I've said is the truth. And like I said in the other video, and people can take it whatever way they want, if I have to be a martyr, then I will be a martyr. I've had to come to that decision before I made that the video number 1 and this number 2. And, if I make other videos on other subjects or whatever, I have already decided when I started was that I knew that if I had to be a martyr, if I had to be a martyr, then I would, I had to be prepared, and I'm not that people can take it whatever way they want, and I don't care how they take it. Like I said, I'm not saying this is just me talking, you know what I'm saying? This is me just talking, talking to this microphone, staring at this white wall, just talking, I'm just saying, I've come to the point in my life where we all, nobody has ever guaranteed another second. It's a miracle that, I've lived this long, and that's all I'm saying. The miracle of life. If people really researched what all can go wrong in the human body, like every second, or every nanosecond of every single, you know what I'm saying? And we live, there are so many things. So that's why I said, it's a miracle, life is a miracle. And, it's a miracle, and I'm talking about me just from a philosophical standpoint. It's a miracle that I'm alive, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, nobody's guaranteed another second, okay? Like I said, there are plenty of times that I should have died in the past, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what the future holds, but, I've decided that I have to tell my story and tell the truth, because if I die, then no one is going to hear the truth from my own voice and my own emotions and my own experiences. So I have decided that this is what I'm going to do. And all I'm going to say is, in the first video, in this video, and other videos that I make, if I have to be a martyr, I've already decided that that's the way it's going to be. I have had to come to the, I'm just saying, and I'm not talking specifically about anyone or anything here. Like I said, this is just me talking philosophically, okay? I'm not talking about, Gus or Volusia Golden Diamond, GHAZI, Michael Oster, anybody in specific. I'm just saying right now that, everything is going to pass at some point. Even the diamonds. Diamonds are pure carbon, okay? After whatever, millions and billions of years or whatever, all the diamonds will be gone because they are carbon. And over time, carbon, it will disappear. So all the diamonds, millions or billions of years from now, will be gone. And like I said, I'll be gone far before that. And I am just a flawed human being, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's a miracle that I have lived this long, and, we never know what's going to happen in the future. And that's why I'm making these 2 videos and other videos that I might possibly make in the future. Because, do I think YouTube is going to be around for, hundreds or thousands or, millions or billions of years? Absolutely not. I will be forgotten about. My words will be forgotten about. I will be erased from history. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but for now, at least people can hear my voice, and they can know what I've went through, and that I'm telling the truth, and, maybe it'll help other people too, because like I said, it's never too late to do the right thing. That's all, that really is, it's never too late to do the right thing, or to at least try to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can try to do the right thing and reach out to somebody and they want nothing to do, but other times, if you want to do the right thing, then the other person, will appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? And be thankful of that. And maybe even reach out and say, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Even after, if hypothetically somebody goes through 20 years of, of flashbacks and PTS and reliving and all this stuff, nightmares and anxiety attacks and you name it or whatever, I'm just saying, if somebody did truly try to do the right thing and reached out, and like I said, I'm just using this as a hypothetical example, and like I said before, the reason why I almost didn't make it because I held out for Christmas again this year, even 20 years later, I have this pipe dream that, that's why I almost didn't, but I decided because like I said, when I said in the other video, and I'll say this one, it's I think of people and I think of events, but those people don't even think of me, you know what I'm saying? And even if they do, they think of me and they don't even do the right thing. They choose not to do the right thing, when they could choose to do the right thing, And like I said, hypothetically, in my pipe dream, I still believe, like Christmas Eve or something like that, knock on the door, it's like FedEx or UPS or whatever. It's a big package or whatever. It's from Volusia Golden Diamond or whatever. I sign for it to open it up. And it's a nice men's, there's a letter, from like Gus, GHAZI, Michael Osta, I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry about April the 13th, 2002, okay? I just want to say I'm sorry. This is for you. I know it's not going to take back. I know it's not going to do anything, but please accept my apology, Merry Christmas or whatever, Gus, GHAZI, Michael Osta, and I open up and it's a nice men's genuine Rolex, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I still hold out. Because, like I said in the other video, to me, a Rolex, because being in the jewelry business or whatever, if I, and I say Rolex, but I mean there's Patek and there's Vacherons and there's other ones, believe me. But I'm just saying I use Rolex, and, I'm just saying that it's just because it's like a standard, a high standard, they give Rolexes, rich, really rich and powerful people, I'm sure, give Patek, you know what I'm saying? But, the middle class and the, financially stable, but not extremely rich, Rolex, I don't know, but I'm just saying, if I had the money and if I wanted to do the right thing and if I wanted to give somebody a gift or something, that I love and that I care about, or if I want to say I'm sorry, or, for a birthday or a Christmas or, a Mother's Day, a Father's Day, anything, a special day, a birth or whatever, a Rolex, you know what I'm saying? That would be a substantial, something to commemorate and to, to give someone a momentous, you know what I'm saying? So to me, that's why I say that. So I'm not going to run this in the ground. But once again, this is Brian Lee Horn, and, it's 11 a.m. on Sunday, December the 11th, 2022, and this video right now is 1 hour and 33 minutes and 24 seconds, 25 seconds long. God bless everybody and everything I said in this video. God bless all the people I mentioned, and God bless the Volusia Gold Diamond. I wish no ill will or nothing harmful or anything negative to happen to anybody or anything that I've mentioned in this video. God bless. My name is Brian Lee Horn, and today is Sunday, December the 11th, 2022, and it is 9:38 in the morning. I just wanted to make a follow-up video, a shorter follow-up video